Hello everyone, welcome to today's Fitness Friday video. We will be focusing, as the title kind of gives away, on our thighs, butts, and guts, also known as our core, glutes, and leg muscles. As I continue the intro, take some time to get your body moving, perhaps some marches or some light stretching, just to get your body warmed up a bit before we get started. Today's video, if you haven't noticed, is a bit different than the previous videos that I've done before, and that I will be voicing over our workout and instructing you throughout. Go ahead and grab a set of dumbbells if you have them, but if you don't worry. You can complete all these exercises with just your body weight or with some common household items that you might have laying around, such as some canned goods, milk jugs, or even laundry detergent. We are first going to start off with a couple of lower body circuits, and then we'll finish off with some ab exercises. Let's go ahead and get to work. First, we are going to start off on the ground, and we are going to begin in our glute bridges. A weight here is completely optional, but it does add a little bit extra resistance. Start with your feet flat on the ground, and if you have a weight, keep it placed comfortably at your hip bones and drive your hips up until you're straight from your shoulders down to your knees. Be sure when you reach the top that you squeeze your glutes for a moment. When you're up at the top, draw your belly button in and focus on keeping your core tight. Slowly lower your bottom down to the ground and return up quickly, perhaps at a 3 or a 4 count. Up, 1, 2, 3. Up, 1, 2, 3. And repeat. Good. All right, now come up and grab your second weight, but as a reminder, you can do this next exercise with no weights at all. We're going to keep our weights at a front rack position at shoulder level, and we're in a hip width stance. Slowly begin to lower your bottom down into a squat. Once you're as low as you can go, stand up quickly and squeeze your bottom. When you go down, be sure to count to a 4 or 3 count. Come up and squeeze. 3, 2, 1, and squeeze. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, moving on to our third exercise now. We are going to be doing a deadlift with a sumo position. Notice how my toes are pointed out to the sides. This time we're going to slowly slide our weights down the front of our legs, and with this, our bottom is going to push out behind us. I will turn to the side so you can get a better view. Slowly and pull up. Slowly slide those weights down, bottom goes back, and we pull up, kind of hinging at those hips. Notice how my back is nice and flat. I don't have a curve or an arch in it. We come up and squeeze. Good. Keeping a slight bend in those knees, but we're not completely bending like how we would in a squat. Slowly go down and pull up and squeeze. All right, go ahead and meet me down on the ground now. We're going to go into that first exercise we started off with, that hip raise or a glute bridge, whichever you want to call it. We're going to go up, squeeze that glute, and remember, nice and slow, a 3 or 4 count down, and abruptly pull those hips upward when you get to the top. If you want to make this exercise a little bit more challenging, you can always do one leg raised, either straight out or just slightly hovering your foot above the ground, and make sure you're switching halfway through. That adds a bit more additional weight on that opposite leg that has the heel down and makes it exercise a bit more challenging for you. Remember to always keep your core super tight in any exercise that you're performing, but this also can help strengthen that lower back and your core muscles when you're engaging them. All right, standing up top with me now, grab those weights if you'd like them. We're going to place them in that front rack position as we did before, just slightly over our shoulders. I'm in a side view here now, so that way you can see that my knees are bending to about 90 degrees and that my heels are pretty much glued to the ground. You notice that I'm not coming up on my tippy toes or bending over. My chest is nice and proud. Really focus on your form, and remember to always squeeze those glutes at the top. Good. Going down as far as you possibly can and focusing on where your feet are is really going to help you perform this exercise properly. Moving on to that third exercise, we're pointing out our toes and we're going down into that deadlift. Again, take your time here because it's really important that you feel that stretch in the back of your legs and that hamstring region. Keep your back flat. If it helps, you can always look in a window or a mirror perhaps to make sure that when you're performing this exercise that you are not in an arched position. Slowly slide those dumbbells down, and when you get to the top, squeeze. All right, and we're back down on the ground for that third and final glute bridge for today. If you're noticing that you're having a little back pain, that's never good, and it could be because you're not keeping your core as tight as you really think. Although this might be an odd example, I have dogs that are constantly running around while I'm trying to perform my exercises. You may have a dog or maybe some young children as well. You never really know when all of a sudden one of them are going to accidentally step on me. And so make sure that before you go up, you really draw that navel in and you squeeze and keep it tight, drawn in towards your spine. That way you're protected and you're ensuring yourself that you're actually doing this exercise properly. All right, and we're going to go ahead and stand back up, moving on to that second exercise. All right, and as a reminder, those elbows are high. This causes you to have some tension in your core, which adds a dual purpose to this exercise. More bang for your buck, if you will, and I always love that when I'm performing any exercise that I do. Be sure to inhale on your lower down, exhale when you come up to the top. Slow and steady on that lower, a 3 count or a 4 count. Stand up strong, driving through those legs and heels, and squeeze. Going into that third and final exercise, our sumo deadlift, remember that your toes are pointed outward and you have that slight bend in your knee. Bending down and you feel that stretch along the back of your hamstring. You should never feel an over-exaggerated tightness, but you should feel that stretch as I mentioned. Keep moving and keep grooving. You got this. You're doing great. We're almost done. Squeeze at the top, slow and steady, and squeeze. Take some time now if you need it to grab some water or catch your breath. We're going to move on to our second circuit, so join in with me whenever you're ready. Notice that I'm holding that weight at my chest level, but this is completely optional, and I'm stepping out back behind me into my curtsy lunge and out to the side into my side lunge, all with that same right leg. Keeping my posture nice and high, my chest is proud, as I always like to say, and I'm not falling over while I'm doing any of these exercises. You may start to feel a little bit of burn in that right butt cheek. All right, shake those legs out, and we're moving on, stepping out with your opposite leg and out to the side. Notice in that curtsy lunge that I'm bending my knee, but I'm pushing off with that left foot when I'm coming up. Stepping out to the side, and that side heel, again, is doing all the work, pulling me back up to center. Good. I'm personally dropping my weight down, but feel free to hold onto your weight at your chest level if you wish. Stepping back behind me into a backwards lunge, I'm driving my knee up when I get to the top. However, this is completely optional, and notice how now I'm bringing my foot parallel with my other leg. If you're able to, get a little bit more dynamic movement in and really drive that knee up to the top when you pull forward. Again, this is doing a lot more unilateral work onto that opposite leg and more weight that it's having to push upwards and steady for longer. That back toe that you're stepping back with is basically doing very little work. It's just there to kind of support you so that way you're not falling all over. That front flat foot is what should be driving you up from that kneeling position to standing. Again, I'm showing you that if it's too difficult for you to drive that knee upwards off the ground, then you can always just bring that foot right next to your other one. Placing your hands wherever you'd like, you notice that I'm kind of moving my hands around. Sometimes you can keep it on your hip. Other times people like it at their chest level. Focus on just finding a place that's going to keep you nice and steady. All right. And going back to that very forgetting exercise, going into that curtsy lunge with your side lunge, stepping back into that curtsy and coming up, pushing out to the side. If at any point you feel like you need to take a break or shake out those legs, feel free to. We've been doing pretty much consistent work this whole time. You're doing awesome. Keep it moving. Going out to the side, coming back to center, and kicking out into that side lunge. Again, you notice I'm taking some time to catch my breath and back out with your other side. And although I'm not showing you here, if you want to do a little additional challenge to this exercise, you can always raise your weight above your head or hover it out in front of you at chest level. This works multiple body parts, such as your shoulders and your chest, and also will help you engage your core. We're going to be moving on to our next exercise now, and I'm going to be dropping my weight, but as I said before, hold on to it if you want that additional challenge. I'm personally driving back with my right leg, bringing that knee up to the top. As noted before, if you want a little bit additional challenge besides your weight, you can also add in a little hop or perhaps drive up onto your tippy toe when you bring that knee up towards the ceiling. You may have noticed that I started to lose my balance a little bit. If you're noticing that you're also having that same problem, try focusing your gaze on one particular item or something that's nearby. I personally am trying to look at one particular yellow leaf in front of me. Yours might be a light switch or a hole within your wall, whatever it may be. Trying to step back as far as you can, feeling a nice stretch along that hamstring and coming up to the top. Take some time to catch your breath, shake it out, and we're trucking along. You're almost done, guys. I know I'm feeling a little tired, so I bet you're right with me. And when you're ready, join in with me. We're going to be stepping back into our curtsy and our side lunge. Out to the side. Again, this is one that you can easily lose your balance with, especially because you're going from right to left very abruptly. Focus on one area in front of you and keep that core tight. I don't know about you, but my legs are really starting to burn at this point. Just smile through it. That's what I'm doing right now, and you got this. I also wanted to take time to thank you guys for joining in with me today. Getting your workout in, you should all pat yourselves on the back and applaud yourselves for showing up and completing it. If you didn't already, make sure you switched your sides just like I did, driving back to that curtsy over to your side lunge. Taking your time, not losing your form. I know you're getting a little bit tired, your legs might be fatigued, but it's always better to go slower and do less repetitions than to go quick and get sloppy with it. All right, moving on to our final leg exercises. Grab some water if you need it, catch that breath. And again, I'm driving back with my right leg. Make sure you try to stay uniform with what you've been starting with though. Take your time when you step on back. Feel that stretch, drive up with that opposite foot. If it helps, get those arms a little bit involved, kind of in a running position. If you're focusing on driving that knee up, that could also assist you with this. Switching your side whenever you're ready. And remember, this is your very last leg exercise, so push yourself with all your might if you can and finish strong. You got this. Inhaling now, exhaling, and grabbing some water if you'd like it. We're going to join me on the mat, and we're going to now move on to our core exercises. All right, go ahead and meet me in tabletop position now. Our wrists are right underneath our shoulders and our knees are underneath our hips. And we're going to reach out with our right arm as our left leg kicks out behind us. Pull both your arm and your leg in together at the same time and connect your elbow with your knee as you crunch in and now reach back out. We're going to switch our sides whenever you're ready and lengthen your arm and leg as you reach out again. Remember, work hard focusing on keeping that back flat, pulling our navel in towards our spine. And when you kick out, get a slight booty squeeze in if you're not too tired from your leg exercises that you just did. All right, and let's go ahead and walk our feet out and meet me in a tall plank position now. Holding this tall plank position for just a few more seconds, pay attention to your shoulders. For me, something that I notice that I commonly do is that I crunch my shoulders up towards my ears. Try to relax them downwards towards your hips. We are now in a bear plank position with our knees slightly hovered above the ground. We are going to alternate between the bear plank and the tall plank, going at our own pace. Keep in mind though, we are never losing tension in our abdominal muscles while we are doing so. Let's hold our plank for about 3, 2, and 1, and we're going to now meet each other down on the mat with our backs flat. We are going to move into a crunch now, and you may perform your crunch any way you wish. This just is my preferred way. Placing my hands over my head, I am using my arms to lead and guide me up to the top as I crunch. However, I'm not using my arms to pull me up. They're just simply a guide. When you come up, try to pull your belly button in towards your spine and have no gap in between your lower back and the ground. Here in a moment, we're gonna holding now, and we're now going to move from side to side, trying to reach our heels. I like to call these penguins because I feel like a penguin waddling when I perform this exercise. You may start to feel some tension building up in those abdominal muscles. Keep on moving, trying to reach for those heels or your toes, and release. We are now going to bring our knees up to about 90 degrees, and we're going to slowly take one foot down to the ground at a time, trying to tap that heel or your toe as far out in front of you as possible. Remember here to keep your back flat on the ground and no gap in between your back and the floor. It may help for you to slightly hover up onto your shoulders if you have a difficult time contracting your abdominal muscles. Keep on reaching out, and slow and steady is going to be the best bet when performing this exercise. And in a moment, we're going to come up and hold a V. All right, holding. And although this might be difficult, you're almost to the finish line. Keep on holding. If you want a bit more challenge, hold those arms out to the side or out in front of you. You can even straighten your legs all the way straight. Finish strong, don't drop out. And let's hold for 3, 2, and 1. All right, guys, and that wraps up our final Fitness Friday for this Workplace Wellness at Home series. I greatly hope that you enjoyed your time with me throughout this series as well as today. Take some time to stretch out your body, whether it's with me right now or later on. Get some movement, some walking in to try to reduce that soreness as we move forward. As a reminder, if you have any questions, please feel to reach out to me via email. Again, my name is Jessica Lenahan, and my email address is jlenahan@apexbg.com. That is JLENAHAN at apex, B as in boy, G as in girl.com. I hope that you have gotten some insights into some helpful workouts and that you continue this going forward. You can also view our previous Workplace Wellness Series videos, whether that be our Meditation Mondays, our Wellness Wednesdays, or our Fitness Fridays on our YouTube channel. I sincerely hope that this Workplace Wellness at Home series has really helped you kind of escape from what's going on in the world, if not just for a little bit, and take some time to focus on what's truly important, which is your health and your happiness. Again, if you have any questions or if you have any advice for us moving forward related to any workout videos, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to respond. I hope that you have an amazing day and amazing weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.